Hello. Um, I should yeah, that's the thing is like I'm so tired of repeating myself and having to relive the negativity with this stuff, but yeah, it's part of being like torn in a bunch of directions. What I want to do is go over some of the texts that I had to do with texting my dad again that show, and it highlights him demonstrating exactly what I've been talking about again, like just an inability to own anything. There's no accountability, and there's just going in circles of lunacy, basically. So, I'm gonna have to bring up those texts and go over them. What I want to do also is I have to really, I'll have to do it again. I'll have to do this again. How can I do this though? For one, like my texts. And I want it to be outside and do this. I want to go outside and make some videos again, and actually like positive stuff for once. But unfortunately, we're in the situation that we're in, or I am anyway. Um, I'm actually kind of afraid to go back to even look at the text, because if the guy messaged, he probably didn't mess me back again. Like the thing could send me into a whole spiral. Yeah, he didn't message me back. Okay. Uh, hold up. Okay, so I got this other. It's just like psycho. Like every time I have to go back and I'm revisiting this stuff, it's 40 years of them taking clandestine abuses and like exploiting my pain, like using my own pain against me that was valid the whole time, and then presenting to society as if they were helping me. And the only reason I yeah, like every day I would love to be outside and be out near. I can only the last couple of days I had to stay back, be back in bed again. The whole it's very difficult to speak on this stuff when you were ahead of everything like years in advance, and I keep saying you or me, um, just speaking from different perspectives. Uh, um, when I tried to prevent all these things years in advance, and then the further you go back, it's extremely difficult to jump to have 40 years. It's one thing if it was like a year of like abuses or a couple of years. Like my brain is trying to navigate 40 years or almost 40 years this May. I'll be 40. um, like going back to from the psychiatrists, therapists, social workers, like the things my parents orchestrated this thing back when I was a kid. Same people that like they bought. Yeah, see, that's where it gets just there's so many details that it just goes and it shuts down my brain because there's so much pain still. How do I take that and make it into something productive, even? Because this isn't even, for one, I have to do this for my own protection because my parents are still to this day. Like, this is very important. This part of it is they, their priority, which is so clear, is themselves, and they will do literally anything against me, like as harmful as possible to maintain their like control and their image. It can be the most horrible stuff. So the more I pushed back, the more they did this other counter, and it's just been like this thing I've been stuck in because, and then while they're presenting helpful, like you don't like what it does to the mind to like, and then you're still being gaslit, and like the only reason I would go back and even interact with my mom or dad is because they had this financial control since all the way back, going back like 20 something years. Had they just helped with rent and or like schooling or something like normal parents would, back when I was like 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, any of these fucking could have reversed, prevented. But I mean, this goes back. This is because, yeah, where do I even start or stop? Where do I, my brain is like, and then if I had anybody to just talk through these things and just, because like I can always compartmentalize and process my thinking differently when I'm interacting with different people and so on, and I can, and it's like what I do when I speak on different questions and like Quora or different apps and stuff, and I'm just like speaking on different topics entirely, then my brain can actually like process in a different way and doesn't get all overwhelmed and have to relive all these pains and agonies that my parents have done or been responsible for, that they don't care to even, they don't even care to acknowledge and let me have the weight like removed. They're just like still spinning me around. 70 something years old. All right, so now I'm overwhelming myself again. It has to be more productive stuff than this stuff, because this is not, it's tormenting while I'm trying to like have the truth be there for, even if I don't survive, at least the truth is there in the end. Even if that doesn't even matter, it's like the only thing I could do. So, at least if maybe I could give strength to other people that are going through things. If anything, maybe, but this is not productive enough, and not giving solutions. Like I needed to fix the things rather. And then if I go around and I feel like less, it's like nothing's even being solved, and it's just reminding me. And of course, like there's just too much to speak on. It's not. This is not enough. Then reliving it and then saying it is just like, yeah, this just sucks. I have to do more and better than I will go over those texts, and it's such a shame. I will just try though to do that to make sure, because I want it even more clear. But it's, Jesus, I'm torn all over the place. There's so many parts to it too. It's like a mix of the most. They're so dumb, but they were smart enough to know how to play this game and keep doing like this shit to me, and all the fucking, oh man, that's the problem, because there's always that pain, and I always just want to fucking scream, and it's valid pain, and then that's being used against me because that is in there, and that will take over the whole fucking thinking process. The emotion that I have to carry, that I've been carrying forever, and my parents don't even have to, they don't have the emotion. Like they literally don't care, except for like beyond the like imagery, and then they just like forget any, I don't know what's going on in their minds. Like for them to even be able to like behave the way they do, and you have to imagine like this was going on since when I was a kid, and they were already the way they were, and then now you add like multiple decades to it. Um, it's like you're adding, like now they're like senile aged on top of it, and there's no accountability, and they can just like say whatever they want in their brains, and who knows it, like what their kind of substances they're on or what the hell is going on. Meanwhile, like that's why it's so fucked up. Like me as someone who's stuck and been disciplined as fucking hell. Like I've been so disciplined, and then you have these two people that are the opposite way, that did everything. Oh fuck my jaw. Like if I was to even go, I would have to have enough calm to even go through piece by piece by piece and somehow not get overwhelmed and not drive myself crazy from the amount of pain and injustice, which is like almost impossible. And just the amount of like pieces to this that I've overcome and adapted, and then like they just through a whole bunch more. And it'll make sense if you understand the context prior, and you have to have a brain. And it's like what the hell, man? The whole time I was like on YouTube, and I don't actually like look at the camera, do I? I mean, at least I'm just the true. I just genuine every day. I just try to be consistently. In a world where it's like not even valued. In a world, I don't give a shit though. So I don't have a choice. This is just so it. I don't have a choice. I have to do it for the truth. And what else can I say though? Like it's not enough to none of this stuff. Um, but yeah, I mean, there's nothing for me to like. I'm never embarrassed or anything, or like I don't ever have to feel shame or anything bad for the things I say. It's all just straight facts and truth and things I've experienced and trying to, you know, I know that I've already done everything in my power. I haven't done anything wrong, and I continue every day. I just did the right stuff. So there's nothing to guilt me about. There's nothing to like point at. And it's what my dad and my mom still are trying to do, but there's no way to do that because I don't falter. Not touched a substance in years. That not abused anything. I mean, had my nerve pain medication that my urologist gave me as prescribed. You know, um, so I mean, there's nothing for me. Nothing on my end. It's all on my parents' end. Um, and I didn't have a choice. So I definitely want to go over. I'm gonna go back over. I'm gonna bring up those texts. though, so I can make things a little more clear and demonstrate a bit more. Cause I mean, really. But at the same time, I also need a break. I need to be in nature. I need to be in the light, and it's so obvious. Like there's like everything. I live completely in the present, whereas in the past I didn't really as much. I was not as much in the present, but that's the reason why I get triggered by like all the visual shit and those lights, sounds, every damn thing. More so even. Um, More so than even in the past. Because it's just all so clear. But yeah, like part of the problem with the YouTube stuff is like I don't have a proper like audience, and there's a lot of like kids and adult kids, and it's like kind of, if there were like legitimate like people with brains, and that would be helpful for sure. But I have, it's not just YouTube. I do other stuff other than YouTube too. So like YouTube, I think is like kind of like a lost cause at this point. But I still do it sometimes, like I do. There's so much I want to say on this stuff, but again, the timing and the nerve pain medication. Same thing for like music and writing music and all that stuff. Only my dad and my mom would orchestrate this where like they flip it upside down. I don't even have my brain able to like think in the same ways that it used to, because it's been like 2 to 3 years of the nerve pain medication after I already waited to go on that for, I'm not even this. It's it's crazy, like this whole time throughout all the like video documenting and like journaling that I did, I never got to speak on things from like a actual like purely calm state. Like I always, every single time, it did not take long at all to just get super overwhelmed from, like, obviously. Like that's just what happened. This should be expected from the amount of abuse and trauma. Legitimate. It's like never. It's so easy to get upset about again, like so fast, because I'm aware and I'm not retarded. and I know every single detail of what my parents did and continue. Like, that's even worse. That to this day, it continues. Like, they won't take responsibility for anything. They won't allow me any kind of peace. They won't even give me that decency. They can never talk like me and express things like me and have any, they can't back things up. They just make things up. And then if this was like out and there was like a judge of the population, like knowing context and like not just like starting at fucking page 157 or like just going back to like the beginning and then looking at the actual context of things. I'm like the perfect, like the perfect person that they got to like just like I suffered so much and just barely didn't die. And then that, so it's like the most tormenting thing. But I can't even express that anyway. And then people that need, like, would need to know, like, it's kind of crazy because, yeah, the only thing that can happen is you get, like, most of the time, you'd attract, like, ignorant people that don't even know, like, well, to a YouTube stream. It's like, yeah. I mean, that's why I'm not like possible to like fuck with though at the same time. Because like I know everything and I'm also almost 40 and I've experienced like everything and the only people that bother me are my parents from what they did to me. And like I could give a fuck about, I don't give a shit about anybody else's words. And even my parents' words, I know it's all nonsense, so can't fuck with me. My pain fucks with me. My own brain having to deal with all the memories and everything that fucks with me, yeah. Nobody can touch me though, but beyond that. There's so much that could be used uh I could put all this shit into something good before I have to like die. That would be great. Or if I didn't have to die at all, that would be nice. Um, just focusing everything into like productive, good things. If I don't have to like forcibly suffer and like needlessly be hurt in different ways that my parents do that don't make any sense and then don't acknowledge and then go in circles and then gaslight me and then it's like Jesus, these people are so twisted. So it is what it is. If people can support me or not, I tend to not get any support. That's what it feels like all the time. I'll end that there. I'll get back with those messages at some point. I think I have to use the other old phone and switch back to look at the messages. But yeah, we'll see. I'll try to figure that out. It's like if I actually had the patience and the tolerance to go over like the messages and actually scroll back, and then we keep going, it would be the most insane thing ever to like actually look and see how many times these people just go in circles and they don't address anything they've done, and they don't like allow any way forward as like a normal human being. Like to them it makes sense, like deranged in the head. I don't know what the hell. Like that guy's still trying to get me. He's like trying to attack me with like saying, yeah, I won't even start it. I'm not gonna. I'll just go over the messages when I do. So yeah. All right. Peace to the one person there. God bless. Take care.